So the game against Manchester City is a very difficult pill to swallow. For a team that has not won a trophy in 6 years and had the best chance to solve that problem once and for all in the League Cup final against Manchester City, to lose that game is really difficult to take for every Arsenal fan. But what we must not do is to miss out on the lessons from that game. So stick around in this video. Let's just quickly run through some of the important things Arsenal must take note of if they are going to make the best out of this bad situation. We're still competitions. We're still in 3 competitions and we have a chance to win all of them. But these are the points we must take note of. Number 1, the mind games of Pep Guardiola. It was interesting for me to find out that in the build-up to the League Cup final, for some reason, Manchester City could not play their first choice goalkeeper. And they started to broadcast the fact that, oh, they're going to start their second choice goalkeeper ahead of Donnarumma. And he was obviously not available for the game. But then they started to talk about it, almost like playing into Mikel Arteta's head and convince him, indirectly that it was okay not to start our best goalkeeper, which is David Raya. And when I saw the debate going on online about who should start, I was like, what is this debate for? You have to start your best players. If you're going to be playing, a final, it doesn't matter who feels unhappy about starting from the bench or who. Yes, we know that Kepa is a good, he's good with set pieces like penalties. I've never seen David Raya catch a penalty in all his time at Arsenal, but I know Kepa can do that. So the strategy will have been start David Raya, and then down the road as the game progresses, if we start to see that the game is advancing towards, extra time and penalties, then we make that substitution and get Kepa in just in time for the penalties. But those blunders he made, that led to the 2 goals from, that O'Reilly scored were totally avoidable. And I know that a player like the Raya will never have allowed that to happen. So the first lesson is Arteta needs to stop. I hear people calling me a baby coach. I don't really buy into that narrative. But these decisions to succumb to some of these mind games, Manchester City were just pushing the narrative that they were starting their second choice goalkeeper. And suddenly it became okay to start your second choice goalkeeper just because City were also doing the same. Now, if City had a luxury of, having, Donnarumma available, they probably would not have done that. And Arteta lost an opportunity to, win the game by putting your best foot forward. That's the first thing. The second thing he did wrong in that game was not making substitutions early. We knew early in the game that left wing had a problem. Trossard was not in the game. As soon as Hincapié got a yellow card, he was owned by Semenyo time and time again. Semenyo kept beating him. He couldn't put any in the tackles anymore. He was skeptical, and every time Semenyo went, there was a one-on-one situation, Semenyo had the better of Hincapié, and not because Hincapié could not do better, but simply because he was conscious of not getting a second yellow card. Arteta should have made that substitution of taking out Hincapié early enough and bringing in his replacement. So that Calafiori should have come in way earlier than he did. At the end of first half, I felt this is the right time to make substitution. We could see the game progressing negatively and we're losing control of the game, but he should have made that substitution. The other person he should have taken off was Trossard. Trossard was not in the game. He should have brought in Martinelli early enough and changed the dynamics of the game. The third thing is he was seeing that our creativity was very poor. It wasn't his fault that Eze got injured, but playing, Kai Havertz in the 10th position was not working. Those changes he made after Arsenal conceded those 2 goals should have happened at the end of the first half. So that naivety for Mikel Arteta to not be decisive enough to say, this is time to make the change. If he had made those changes, I didn't even have a problem with him substituting Kepa in at the end of the first half. It is not out of place. That's the thing about being a decisive coach. You don't have to wait until things go wrong before you start to make changes. Once it was 2-0, Arsenal were 2-0 down, it was practically over. City didn't have to do anything again. They just had to control the ball and hold the ball till the end of the game. So that decisiveness, he didn't have it, and that cost Arsenal an opportunity to win their first trophy in 6 years. Now, if you ask me about the lineup, the selection of every other position, I don't think it was a problem. It is what it is. Arteta needs to go into the rest of the season, the next 2 months. In the Premier League, we must lock it down. In the FA Cup, now the FA Cup is now going to be a serious competition. I'm sure if Arsenal had won the League Cup with the Premier League almost, all but won, it would not have been a problem if we even got knocked out of the FA Cup. But now the FA Cup has become a serious competition, and then of course the Champions League. We know that the priority is still the Premier League, but every other competition right now is not important because from a team that had opportunity to win 4 trophies, Arsenal have 3. I don't think the panic button needs to be hit yet. One thing we must recognize about Mikel Arteta is that he's not a perfect coach. We know that this Arsenal job is his first main job as a senior coach. And we know that it's going to come with learnings. It's going to come with, he's learning on the job, basically. He has a lot of things working for him. We cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater. He's not perfect, but he needs to learn quickly. And this season, he must win a major trophy. Now, let me know your thoughts on all of this. Arsenal have swallowed a difficult pill, losing the final, which is really sad. But I don't think it's time for the boys to give up. They need to roll up their sleeves and get ready for the rest of the season. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts in the comments on all of this and what you think went wrong in that game or what Arteta must do differently. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.